Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Nick Cosgrove and I'm back with this week's No Filter Q&A. This is the episode where I answer all questions related to diet, training, and supplementation that I received over the last 7 days from our in-house clients, online clients, as well as a few of our online followers. Remember, if you have any questions related to your nutritional plan, workout program, supplements you're taking, not taking, considering taking, please feel free to email me those questions at nick@foreverfitperformance.com, or you can DM me your questions on my Instagram at @fitcosgrove_. I also want to take a moment to wish you all a very happy new year and wish you the absolute best in 2024. All right, so let's get started with this week's No Filter Q&A with question number 1. Hi, Nick, can you tell me why men are able to lose weight faster than women? Well, not all men are able to lose weight faster than women, right? I mean, it really comes down to genetics and how fast or how slow your metabolism is, right? So there are different body types out there. One we call an ectomorph, one we call an endomorph, and one we call a mesomorph. And then there's people who have the combination of an ecto-endo or endo-meso or meso-ectomorph body type. Now, if you're someone who's an ectomorph, for example, you have a very fast metabolism. It's very easy for you to lose weight quickly. It's also difficult for you to gain weight. So usually ectomorphs have a hard time building muscle. They have a very easy time taking off the weight, but they have a very hard time putting on the weight. And that's just because their metabolism is faster, right? So there are women out there who are ectomorphs. So for those women, they can lose weight very easily. But to answer your question, across the board, one of the reasons why men typically have an easier time losing weight than women has to do with muscle and has to do with testosterone. Okay, men have the ability to put on more muscle mass than women do, right? So the more muscle that you have in a rested state, the more calories that you burn in a rested state, right? So the same thing if, for example, if your body's ability to create more testosterone, well, if you can create more testosterone, that helps build more muscle. So again, it comes down to the more muscle mass allows you to burn more calories in a rested state. Another thing too, with women have higher estrogen levels than men, which women need, right? Also, women need to have higher body fat or fat percentages than men. This is just genetics. This is for childbearing, just overall for hormonal health. So women should not find it as easy as men to lose weight because women actually need to keep on more body fat than men do. This is why we always recommend for men, a healthy body fat level is between that 8 to 12%. And for women, it's usually between that 18 to 20, 22%. Right? Because women do need to have more body fat than men, just for overall hormonal health and for bodily function, right? So when I work with both men and women, let's say I put a man and a woman on the exact same diet plan. Yes, typically the man will lose weight faster than the woman. But then that just comes down to more muscle mass, more testosterone. The woman will still lose the weight. It just won't come off as quickly, okay? But you have to remember too, as a woman, you don't want to have your body fat levels too low, okay? Because that can create health problems down the road. You can miss your period, right? You could get overall, you can have some hard time losing your hair. You can have a hard time in the gym. Your strength can go down rapidly. So you lack of sleep. These are all things that can happen with your hormonal health long term if you're trying to lose weight too quickly. So this is why I don't recommend trying to lose weight too quickly for either a man or a woman. So what I do find works well though, when I work with women on their nutritional plans, I like to give them higher fat diets, moderate protein, and lower carbohydrate diets when I'm working with someone who I'm trying to help them lose weight. With the guys, I typically keep their fats and protein at moderate levels, and I'll keep their carbs a little bit higher than the women, okay? But again, this comes down to the individual. And as I said, I've had some women I've worked with over the years, they're able to lose weight very quickly. So we can't just say that all men find it easier to lose weight than women, because that's not true. But across the board, I would say yes. Statistically speaking, men find it easier to lose weight than women do, and it's for those reasons I mentioned. But don't let that discourage you because you can still lose weight. You just have to find the formula that works well for you. All right, next question. Hey, Nick, can you please explain the difference between your 45-minute training packages versus your 60-minute training packages? Is it just a time difference or a different workout completely? It really is just a time difference. And what I find works well with the 45-minute training sessions is these particular sessions work well for people who find that 45 minutes is more than enough in the gym. I started these 45-minute training sessions probably about 2 years ago during COVID. And the reason was because I had a lot of people who were doing 60-minute workouts with myself or one of the trainers, and they just found at that 45-minute mark, they were just done. And I believe the reason for that is because we really push our clients in the gym. We don't waste time. We don't spend 10 minutes stretching. We don't spend 10 minutes cooling down. Like you're in the gym, we push you to the max. So 45 minutes is usually more than enough for a lot of people. I've mentioned this in the past. My own workouts are no longer than 40 minutes ever. I haven't done a workout that's longer than 40 minutes in 5-10 years. Okay. So it depends on what you're doing in the gym. So this whole idea that it has to be a 60-minute workout, it's kind of ridiculous. It depends again on what you are doing in the gym. So like I said, we have some people who do 60-minute workouts because they find they get the most out of their time in the gym with those 60-minute sessions. A lot of those clients who do those 60-minute workouts also like to spend the last 10 minutes of us doing some stretching on them, whether that's some PNF stretching where we will actually give them some assisted stretching. They like to do some focus on some cardiovascular activities prior to the workout. So whether we get them on the agility ladder, Bosu ball, step ups, all the stuff with the kettlebell swings. So some people like to utilize that time to their advantage and throw in some cardio and stretching as well. So it's not that one session is better than the other. It's what you feel that you can do and what you get the most out of. So I've had a lot of clients over the years who transitioned down from 60-minute workouts to 45-minute workouts because they find that they just train harder, knowing that the workout's only 45 minutes and they give it their all. So it's not for everyone, but I always tell people, you have to find the workout that works best for you. So like I said, for me, my workouts are 40 minutes and I find I get way more out of those 40 minutes than if I were in the gym for 60 or 70 minutes training. When I first started working out, my workouts were like 90 minutes, but I wasn't utilizing my time efficiently. I was wasting a lot of time. I was taking too long of rest periods in between. I was doing very few reps and I was doing very low sets. So now I just go in the gym and go really hard in the gym for 40 minutes and I'm in and out. And that's the same way I approach the 45-minute workouts with my clients. So it's not that one workout is necessarily harder than the other. It's just that some people feel that they train more efficiently with a shorter duration and maximum intensity. Like I said, it's not for everyone. Some people like to stick to the old 60-minute module, and that's fine as well. So it really just comes down to what your preference is. My recommendation is if you haven't tried a 45-minute session with us, try one with us and see how that goes. See if you like it more. If you find that 45-minute workout is more effective for you than a 60-minute workout, then that's the training package for you. If you're someone who finds that a 60-minute workout just gets you more time in the gym and gets you more focus and you just feel like you get a better workout with the 60 minutes, then stick to a 60-minute workout. So it just comes down to your personal preference. All right, next question. Nick, do you get annoyed with the New Year's crowd in the gym? I don't even feel like going for a workout until the third week of January when they are all gone. I think gyms should charge extra for new members when they sign up in January. Do you agree? No. Listen, I don't train at a commercial gym. I train at a private training facility. And even though we don't really get the New Year's crowd at my private training facility, in the past when I worked at commercial gyms, of course we get the New Year's crowd, but it never annoyed me because everyone has to start from somewhere. Right? So even you who's writing this question right now, you started from somewhere. So just because you didn't start in a new year, maybe you started in the middle of the year, that doesn't make your, I hate to use this word, but fitness journey any more special than someone who's starting at the beginning of the year, right? So I don't think we should shame or ridicule people who are trying to make a change in their health and fitness by starting fresh in the new year by going to the gym or signing up for a gym membership. Okay. I think, yes, I understand it can be a bit of annoyance for people who are used to going to the gym where it's busy or moderately busy or not too busy, and all of a sudden it just gets ridiculously busy with the new crowd in there. And yeah, statistically speaking, I mean, most of the people who join in the new year are usually gone from the gym in February. But I don't think we should shame people for trying to make a positive change in their life. If anything, we should try to support them, right? So I've had this question before. I usually get it around this time of year from people who are annoyed by the new gym members that are coming to their gym. But look, I mean, this is a first world problem, right? There's bigger problems in the world. This is something that you really can't make a complaint about. If you don't like training at a commercial gym that's full of New Year's resolutioners, then maybe join a private training facility such as mine for a month. Work with a trainer for a month. So you just wait out that New Year's crowd and go back in February. I mean, that's one alternative right there. I don't think New Year's crowd members should be charged more. However, I do think any new member to any facility or any even training company should be charged more than your current clientele base. I do agree with that, but it shouldn't just be astronomical rates because it's the new year. But I think you have to respect loyalty. So your current clientele base should be paying a lower rate than any new members. So that's the one thing I don't like about a lot of commercial gyms is in a new year, they'll typically offer like 50% off membership fees. And meanwhile, they have current clients who've been with them for years paying more than these new clients who have been with them for or signing up with them for the new year. So I don't agree with that. I think you should always reward loyalty, and you should always reward people who've supported you from the very beginning. So clientele who've been with you from the very beginning or even the last few years, they should be getting the preferred rates, and new clients, new members should be getting the rates that are a little bit higher. But again, not astronomically higher, because you don't want to scare people away. A lot of people can't afford, paying $400 or $500 a month for a monthly gym membership. So you don't want to discourage people from trying to improve their health and fitness. So it doesn't annoy me. Okay. And I don't think it should annoy you, because really it's just a first world problem. All right. Next question. Hi, Nick. Do you find that more people prefer to work with male trainers over female trainers, or the other way around? That's an interesting question. When I first started training clients, I would say that 90% of my clientele for the first 2 years of business were primarily male. And then slowly over time, my female roster started to build up. Now, I don't know if it's just because the times have changed now and more women feel more comfortable training with male trainers, or it's just for me. But I would say right now, my personal roster is about 50-50. Okay, so I train 50% women, 50% men. But in the earlier years, when I first started my career as a personal trainer, the majority of my clientele were men. Now, when we have a new client that comes to work with us, we always give them the option of if they want to work with a male trainer or a female trainer. And honestly, it seems to be irrelevant. I very rarely do I have someone that says they have a preference. Every once in a while, we might have a woman that says they want to work with a female trainer. They feel more comfortable working with another woman. But typically, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. No. Now, if you were to ask me, do I think male trainers are busier than female trainers? Not necessarily, no. I think there's a lot of excellent female trainers out there. And I know I know a lot of women out there who are trainers, personal trainers who run their own business, and they're very successful businesses as well. So I think it really just depends on the trainer, not the gender. If you know your stuff, regardless if you're a man or a woman, if you know your stuff and you're at the top of the game and you're staying relevant, and you've got a high roster of clients that have been with you for, let's say, 15, 20 years, you have a high retention rate, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you're getting results with your clients, who cares, right? So for me personally, I wouldn't care if I'm working with a man or a woman. I just want to work with the best trainer out there, right? So it shouldn't really matter. But I mean, to some people, maybe, like I said, maybe there are some women out there that prefer to work with a woman. Maybe there's some men out there that prefer to work with a man, right? But what I've noticed now over the last few years, especially in the last 10 years, it really hasn't made a difference of our company. Like when we put out that questionnaire, would you rather work with a male trainer or a female trainer? It always comes back as either or. They just want the person who's going to get them the best results. So I think both men and women can be excellent trainers. It comes down to the person, not the gender. All right. Okay. Next question. Hi, Nick. Could you please give me a rough idea as to how you would put together a shoulder workout? I'm currently doing a dumbbell shoulder press and dumbbell lateral raise, but not sure what else I should add into this routine. I can definitely help you with this, but you can also go to my online coaching app, Forever Fit Performance, available on the App Store, and you will find about 4 or 5 different shoulder workouts that I put out there in the last few months. But top of my head, whenever I'm designing a shoulder workout, I like to give at least 2 exercises for each head of the shoulder and then 1 exercise for the trapezius. So top of my head, if I'm thinking for a shoulder workout, I would put together for 2 presses for the anterior delts, a barbell military press, and a dumbbell shoulder press. So that's 2 exercises right there for the anterior deltoids. For the medial deltoids, I would do like you're doing now, those dumbbell lateral raises, but I was also throw in some unilateral cable raises. So single cable raises on each side, just to isolate each side, right? And then for your posterior deltoids, I would do some reverse rear delt flies. And then on top of that, I would throw in some reverse cable flies. So that way you're getting 2 exercises for your anterior deltoid, 2 exercises for your medial deltoid, and 2 exercises for your posterior deltoids. And I usually like to finish that off with either a rope upright row or a barbell upright row for your trapezius. I prefer using the rope over the barbell just for safety. I find it puts a lot less tension on the rotator cuffs, especially if you're 35 plus years old like me and you have a little bit more mileage on your body. I mean, the guys and the women who are in their 20s can probably get away with doing some barbell upright rows, but I find the cable is a safer way to go, using the rope cable upright rows. Again, if you're not familiar with any of these exercises, just go to my online coaching app available in the App Store. Send me your email address and I'll send you a password and you can sign up and you can have access to all the videos you like, my shoulder workouts, my chest workouts, my back workouts, my arm workouts, my leg workouts. And if you want to work with me by putting together a customized program specifically for you, I'm happy to put that together for you. Okay. So you can email me at nick@foreverfitperformance.com or DM me on my Instagram, @fitcosgrove_. Download the coaching app at Forever Fit Performance at the App Store. And let's get started today. All right. Next question. Okay. Nick, where do you buy your jeans? My son has been working out with weights for the past 2 years, and everywhere we have looked, the jeans are just too tight around his legs. Now, I had this question come in on my Instagram last week. This is a problem I've had for years. And here in Vancouver, what I find the only place that I'm able to buy jeans are at the Mavi jean store. They have this stretchy material. I'm not too sure what the type of material is, but it's like a stretchy material and allows me to actually get my legs in the jeans. Because I'm a size 30. And for me to wear a size 30 waist, I can't get my quads in those type of jeans. I look ridiculous, just like your son. I look like an idiot. And I don't like that skinny jean look. In fact, skinny jeans is what motivates me to train hard and heavy in the gym. I never want to be able to fit into skinny jeans. So it's really hard for people like your son and myself who train their legs. They really can't wear form-fitting jeans. So what I find works with the Mavi jean store is that those stretchy material still allows me to wear a size 30 pair of jeans, but allows me to get my quads into these jeans. Otherwise, I have to buy a size like 38 and they're super baggy around my butt and my quads. And I don't really like that look either. I want something that fits my legs properly. So that's what I've come across that works for me. The jeans are a little bit on the pricier side. They're about $200 a pair, but I mean, they last. They're great. They're great jeans. But that's what I find works for me because I've never been able to find a pair of Levi's, for example, that I'm able to fit into. Here in Vancouver, when we used to have the Nordstroms, I used to buy a lot of my t-shirts at Nordstroms, but I could not find a pair of jeans at Nordstroms that would fit me at all. Again, unless I bought a size 38 or size 40, then I could fit my quads into, but it was just so baggy around my waist, I looked ridiculous. So that's a problem when you start lifting weights. Unless you're going to get everything tailored and custom fitted, it's very hard to find clothes off the rack that fit. And this is why for all my suits, I have to get them custom made. I don't buy anything off the rack because I just look ridiculous in them. With my shoulders and chest so broad and my waist so small, I had that V taper. So anything that's going to fit me up here is going to be big down here, right? So it's a problem I have and it's a problem your son has, but it's a good problem. It's not a bad problem. It just shows that you're working on your body and you're not like the most of the population out there that doesn't really exercise and is fairly sedentary. So I'd recommend going to Mavi Jean Store if you're here in Vancouver, or I mean, I think they have them across Canada too in the US, so they're pretty popular brand, but Mavi Jeans where I recommend going. All right, next question. Hi, Nick, do you work with people who suffer from gut health issues? I've been having trouble with my gut this past year and no doctor seems to have any answers for me. I tried working with a naturopath who put me on an elimination diet, but I hated it. And at the end, it did nothing at all. You know, I don't specifically work with people who suffer from gut health issues. If you are someone who does suffer from gut health issues, I'd recommend working with a gut health specialist. Okay. But for myself personally, what I typically find myself working with, I should say, is a lot of people come to work with me who suffer from slight IBS issues. And I shouldn't just say slight, because I've had some people who've come to work with me over the years who also suffer from Crohn's and colitis. And what I find works for a lot of these people, and I don't want to say everyone, because it's not everyone, but what I find does work for most people who suffer from either like low cases of IBS or severe cases of IBS, is just to go back to the basics, the basic foods. And you know what really works? The bodybuilding foods. And why the bodybuilding foods work is because they're clean, wholesome foods, very, very low in ingredients. There's no like processed foods. There's no saturated fats, no trans fats. It's just getting you back down to the basics. So for example, on a bodybuilder diet, you're eating good foods like brown rice. You're eating things like sweet potatoes, yams, quinoa, olive oil, right? Avocado, omega-3 eggs. You're having lean proteins like chicken breasts, right? You're having salmon. You're having like lean ground turkey, you're having turkey breasts. So these are all foods that are usually easy for the body to digest. Now, like I said, that's not for everyone, because there are some people who can't digest foods like brown rice or oatmeal. So you have to find a formula that works for the person you're working with. But over the years, working with people who suffer from severe cases of IBS to very low cases of IBS, and a few of my clients who have Crohn's and colitis, I find the bodybuilder diet works really well. And then you just have to tweak it, because like I said, not everyone can tolerate brown rice. Not everyone can tolerate quinoa, right? Some people don't like salmon. So you can tailor it to the person's needs. But what I find is when you start taking those food groups from a good bodybuilding diet, it works. Bodybuilding diet, there's no dairy, there's no pasta, there's no bread, there's none of that crap. So this is why these diets tend to work for most people. But I don't want to say all people, because this depends on how severe your case of IBS is, right? You're complaining about gut health issues, you might want to talk to a gut health specialist. I personally have never been a fan of the elimination diet, because you just take out everything and slowly start putting things back in. I like to look at someone's diet as a whole and say, okay, show me 3 days of what your typical diet looks like. So I usually ask for, say, 2 weekdays and 1 weekend day, so I can see what changes on the weekdays versus the weekend. Once I have that information, I can dissect your diet a little bit. So typically we'll see reoccurring foods in someone's day-to-day diet. There's usually some 1 or 2 items that people like to have on a regular basis. Like for me, for example, I eat oatmeal every day. So if I were to give you a 3-day diet plan, you'd see oatmeal on all 3 of those days. So I'll typically look at what someone's doing and I'll say, okay, why don't we take this out and put this in? We'll take this out, put this in. Maybe we'll take out this, we'll add in this, or we'll add in this, and then we'll maybe add in more of this. Right? It really depends on what the diet is. And then we make tweaks along the way. How are you feeling from week to week? Do you feel worse? Do you feel better? Okay, how do you feel after this meal? These are questions I ask people in their weekly updates with me. And that's how we put together a customized nutritional plan designed specifically for you. It's not a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter plan. Okay, those plans are easy to find online. You can download them. You can go to Google and find a whole bunch of them, but I don't find they work. They're designed for the masses. But if you're someone who suffers from extreme gut health issues, you need to follow a customized program that's designed specifically for you. And even if you're not someone who suffers from gut health issues, you should still be following a plan that's been designed specifically for you, your goals, your health and fitness level, and your lifestyle, right? The one-size-fits-all plan really doesn't work long-term. So if you are interested in working with me, I can't guarantee that I can help you, but I'll certainly try my best. And I do have a proven track record for working with a lot of people and helping people who do suffer from severe IBS issues, Crohn's and colitis. But it does come down to going back to the basics. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I don't believe in incorporating dairy, bread, pasta. I don't believe in any of those foods. I always tell people, if you want those foods, save them for a cheat meal, but I don't put them on a daily intake of those foods. So if you do want to work with me, those are food groups that I will not put on the plan, because I don't believe in them. And I wouldn't be doing you a service as your coach by just putting them on a plan to make your diet easier for you. If you want results, we have to follow the plan that I know will work. And then we tweak and we revise the program along the way based on how you're feeling, how you're looking, and the results you're achieving. All right. Next question. Hi, Nick. I was recently diagnosed with MS and was wondering what your thoughts would be taking up weight training. Do you think this could help slow down the progression over time? I'm looking for as many natural ways as possible to help live with this new condition. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, so here's the thing with MS. I do have a few clients who do have MS, and what they have found over the years with working with me is it has slow down the progression. Now, I believe the reason for that, and unfortunately, there's not enough studies on this to back my theory, but I believe the reason is when you weight train, you develop a stronger mind to muscle connection, right? With all your muscles. So by you creating that stronger mind to muscle connection, you're having more control of your body as a whole. So let's say you have severe MS and it hits into your legs, primarily into your lower body extremities. Doing a leg workout might not be that easy for you, right? Doing certain exercises like walking lunges might not be that easy for you. However, if you were to do static lunges, holding onto a dowel or a bar, that might be a little bit more easier and more simplified, but you're still able to establish that mind to muscle connection. So those motor neurons are connecting well into the muscle belly, right? So I think you can, all right, sorry, I should say, I think it definitely can help. I don't think it can hurt. And I think it's something that needs more studies, because I do think people who weight train just have a stronger mind to muscle connection overall with their body, right? You have to, because when you're weight training, you have to really pay attention to how you're squeezing and contracting each muscle. You have to pay attention to your form and your technique. You almost have to put your mind in the muscle belly that you're training. So for example, if you're doing seated rows for your back and your rhomboids, you have to put your mind into your back and focus on squeezing your rhomboids, squeezing your scapula together. You can't just simply go through the motions. I mean, there are people that do go through the motions, and I see that in the gym all the time, but those people are not creating a strong mind to muscle connection, and usually they get injured, and they also don't get the best results. So I do think there needs to be more studies on this, but in my experience, I have right now on my roster 4 clients who do have MS, and these are all different degrees of MS. I've had some people who've been suffering from MS for 15 plus years. I have a client who recently was diagnosed with MS about 2 years ago. So I've seen different versions and different degrees of MS over the last 15 plus years. But I have noticed that it has helped a lot of my clients who do have MS slow down their progression for sure. But again, there's not enough studies backing my theory here, but I don't think it won't help. I do think it can help. I don't think it will hurt, I should say. But something you might want to talk to your doctor about, but it's something I think that you definitely will want to explore more. If you're not doing weight training already, it's something you should look into, because like I said, if you're someone who suffers from MS and it's lower body extremities, you notice that your legs aren't doing what you want them to do. Yeah, you might not be able to do a walking lunge. You might not be able to do a barbell back squat, but you could still do a static lunge holding onto a dowel. Like I said, you might be able to still do a ball wall squat with some back support, right? So you just have to modify your workouts. And that's where working with a professional coach, trainer, someone who's experienced and knowledgeable can help you take your workout programs to the next level, so they can modify the workout based on your physical limitations. Okay. So it's something I would definitely look into. And more importantly, I would definitely work into working with a coach or a professional just to help put a program together for you. Okay. But yeah, I mean, good luck. It's definitely something though that I think will help. I do. Okay. Next question. Hey, Nick, my husband thinks I spend too much money on personal training and the gym. He thinks it's a waste of money. How do you sell personal training to clients to make them understand the value they're getting back? I don't sell personal training to clients. I never have. I never will. I don't believe in selling my services to people. People come to work with myself, with our company, because they want to work with myself or the company. They want to achieve results with their health and physique. They see the value in personal training already. I don't need to sell it to them, right? So when it comes to people like your husband who are against personal training, listen, I've got clients on my roster whose spouse or whose friends think it's ridiculous for them to have a personal trainer. But the people who usually think personal training is a waste of money are the people who usually have never done it. So they're judging something they haven't done, which is ridiculous, because you should never judge something that you haven't done or haven't experienced, because you don't know what it's like. Now, maybe you have experienced it, and maybe you worked with a trainer that was not a great trainer. Well, I mean, you had a bad experience. But for people who work with myself or one of our trainers, they know they're getting the most bang for their buck, because when they come in for a workout, they know that we're on time. They know that we have circuits set up for them. They know that we have their best interests at heart, that we customize the program specifically for them, right? And we keep track of their progress, right? We help them achieve results. So working with a good coach or online coach or in-house personal trainer can make a world of difference to your results that you achieve in the gym. There's a lot of people who go to the gym and they just wander aimlessly from station to station, not really knowing what they're doing, because the gym is not where they excel at in life. This is not their thing. You know, you might be working with someone who's a stockbroker who's making $1 million plus a year, but when they put them in the gym, they don't know what the hell they're doing. So, I mean, this is why hiring someone like a personal trainer who can help you get to where you want to go in the most efficient manner can make all the difference. Most of my clients who work with me are business owners. So not only do they see the value in what hiring a personal trainer can do to their health, their fitness, and their physique, but they also see the value that it can add to their mental health, help take their stress levels down. It's one more thing they don't have to worry about. They don't, you know, they're worried about so much other stuff. They're constantly worried about making sure that their business is doing well, making sure that they don't have high staff turnover, right? They have to hire people, they have to fire people. So these are things that, you know, they have to focus on all day. And when they get to the gym, they don't want to have to focus on one more thing. Okay, what do I have to do in this workout? What do I have to add on here? So they can actually still think of the exercises they're doing, but they don't have to think ahead of the workouts. They don't have to think, okay, what do I have to put together for this workout? Also, it helps to have the accountability of that trainer waiting for you, because it's just like another meeting in your day. You're not going to cancel that meeting with your trainer because you paid for that time and you've made that appointment. So a lot of people, not only do they not want to waste the money on missing out on the session with the trainer, but they don't want to let their trainer down, right? Because the trainer is waiting there for them and has put the program together for them. So having a trainer helps hold you accountable. So it's something that I don't feel I ever have to sell to someone, because usually when someone reaches out to me, they're already invested. They want to train. They want results. They see the value in personal training already. So if your husband doesn't see it, I mean, that's too bad for your husband. But I mean, if you notice that you're getting results from working with your trainer and you're experiencing, the benefits of working with a good coach, I think it's money well spent. I think it's an investment in your health, an investment in your fitness, an investment in your well-being. So for someone who judges it, not much I can say to them. I'm not going to try to change their mind. They're entitled to their opinion, but I'm also entitled to mine. And I think personal training is a good investment in your health, your wellness, and just overall well-being. All right. Last question. Hi, Nick. What do you think about Joe Rogan's diet on eating primarily just red meat and eggs? Do you think this is a good diet plan to follow? There's a lot of things that I agree with Joe Rogan on, and there's a lot of things that I don't. I think he takes some things to the extreme. Now, I know when he does the red meat and eggs diet, for example, this is not a new diet, okay? But for example, when he does a diet like this, one of the reasons he does a diet like this is he finds it does help with inflammation, right? He's not wrong about that, because studies have shown that a diet that's high in carbohydrates can cause more inflammation, right, to the body. So if you're someone who deals with an injury, let's say a knee injury, it's a severe knee injury, if you're on a very high carbohydrate diet, that can cause inflammation to need to be 10 times worse. So reducing those carbs, even the good carbs, can help. Now, I don't recommend following an all meat and all eggs diet, because personally, I think that diet is very high in fat. And I don't think a diet that's high in fat is actually that healthy overall for our bodies. This is why I'm against the ketosis diet. I think a good diet will help balance out all three macronutrients, your fats, your complex carbs, and your proteins. And then you just do macronutrient rotation on a week-to-week basis. That's my personal preference. But I'm not knocking his diet plan, because if he finds this working for him, by all means, do it. I never knock anyone's diet plan, because if it's working for the person, who am I to say they're doing something wrong? The only real way to find is that the diet you're working or you're following is working for you is if you get blood work done, okay? And all your results come back, your red blood cell counts come back normal, your hemoglobin levels come back normal, your creatinine levels come back normal, and you're keeping a low body fat and you're keeping muscle on your body. Then you know that, oh, my diet plan's working. You have lots of energy, you're sleeping well, you're not losing your hair, you have a high libido. Oh, my diet's working. But if just one of those things starts to go downhill, maybe you want to start looking at your diet. And this is one thing a lot of people don't do, is when they start to have issues with sleep, they start to have issues at work, they just can't focus, they're always in a bad mood, they're feeling lethargic, they have no libido, they never take a look back and say, hey, what's my diet look like? What's my workout program look like? They're always looking for, what pill should I be taking? What medication should I be taking? Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't take that pill or medication, especially if you've had your blood work done and your doctor says, hey, I think you need to go on this. But you should be looking at your diet and you should be looking at your workout, because in my experience, 9 times out of 10, that's usually what's going on. People are either not exercising enough or they're not following a clean diet. And that's why they're suffering in other areas of their life. So I'm not going to critique Joe Rogan's diet. Would I do it? No. Because I do think that as humans, I do believe, even though we don't necessarily need carbohydrates to function, I do think that having complex carbohydrates in your nutritional plan help. And I do know that Joe Rogan, just like me, is against foods like pasta and bread. So I know he's against those type of carbohydrates. I don't know where he stands on foods like rice, quinoa, yams, that type of stuff, sweet potatoes for carbs. But I personally think that adding those types of foods to your nutritional plan would be very beneficial, obviously in moderate dosages. But we also know that complex carbohydrates are excellent for refueling your glycogen storages in the gym, right? So I find that as long as you're not going into a surplus of carbohydrates, you should have no problem digesting them. But again, this comes down to finding the nutritional plan that works best for you. So I'm not saying don't do the plan. If you're asking me if I would do it, no, because I think it's a plan that's too high in fats. I don't like diets that are too high in fats. This is why I stay away from the ketosis diet. I think diets like that can have long-term side effects on your liver and your kidneys. So that's why I don't recommend consuming just a fat protein diet only. I do think it's good to consume moderate fats, moderate proteins, and moderate carbohydrates. And I find that works for most people I work with. And it's just keeping an eye on rotating those macronutrients on a weekly basis, sometimes not every week, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks, but keep the body just going over and over guessing for macronutrients. If you're not always relying on one type of macronutrient, you're just rotating your macronutrients from week to week. And I find that works really well for most people. Anyways, that's it for this week's No Filter Q&A. This episode will be going up on Tuesday, January the 2nd. As a reminder, if you have any questions related to your nutritional plan, workout program, supplements you're taking, not taking, considering taking, please feel free to email me those questions at nick@foreverfitperformance.com, or you can DM me your questions on my Instagram at @fitcosgrove_. Once again, Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you all for supporting my channel. Thank you for supporting my business. Thank you for supporting my online coaching app. And I will see you all next week. Bye for now.